Hey guys, I want to talk to you about one element of getting good and comfortable with this cold approach stuff. This is, I feel like, one of the biggest stopping blocks or hurdles for most people anywhere, but I'm talking mostly to guys that want to get better at this skill about talking to strangers basically, or approaching any woman when they desire to do it. One of the biggest things that I think holds people back from doing this stuff is the fear of embarrassment. So in other words, you go for it, you show a little bit of courage, and you make an attempt at trying to talk to a woman in a daylight hours, everyday sort of setting like I'm always talking about, and it doesn't go well at all, and it kind of turns out to be this little moment of embarrassment. I think we all have that inside of us for some reason, that you don't want to make a scene, of course, but even just the fact that other people around you might see you crash and burn is kind of a deterrent enough for a lot of people to not even try this stuff in the first place. And I was going to share just a little story from my morning, and believe me, these things still do not always go in my favor. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and it is a little bit embarrassing. But the biggest thing that I want to stress to you is that I believe that all that stuff really is in your mind. And if you think about how silly that is to allow something like that to hold you back from trying to do this stuff, or trying to attempt to meet people. I just believe that if you really stop and think about it, you'll just see that it doesn't matter, because once that situation plays out, and like I said, I'll tell you my story in a moment here, people don't really care as much about you as you think they do. I mean, yes, like maybe in that immediate moment when things don't go right, people are kind of looking around and just like, who the hell knows, like whatever thoughts are going through their mind, and you might look a little bit silly. But think about that. You're going to walk away physically from this little geographic location, and maybe anybody that's not within like a 20-foot eye shot of where you were, or even an earshot of what you attempted to do, that saw the situation not go so well, those are the only people on the face of the earth that are ever going to know this stuff. And furthermore, when you walk out of that geographic area, you're gone. And believe me, like, people aren't going through the rest of their day or the rest of their life thinking about how stupid that guy looked that tried to talk to that girl at the farmer's market today. So you've got to get over that. You've got to put that out of your mind and not allow that to be a deterrent for you to do this stuff, because yes, that's just a part of the deal here. This is the part of committing yourself to actually trying to get good at this stuff. It's going to go bad sometimes. It's not always going to go well. So I'll just give you the little real world example of my day here. I had gone downtown to this, the little area where I live at, and I wanted to have a cup of coffee and just take a walk around. I totally forgot that they have an awesome farmer's market that they do every Sunday in the morning. And of course, I think this is one of those prime places to just take a little walk around. And if somebody catches your eye, I think this is a great place to try to meet somebody. A lot of times, I've found that a lot of girls will just go out there by themselves to do the same thing that I did, just have a coffee, walk around, buy some vegetables, buy whatever they want, just look at stuff. And this is a great environment to try to do this stuff. But anyways, on to the story. Really isn't much to tell you here, but it was a good example of an attempt that was a little embarrassing for me. I was walking around, somebody had caught my eye, and so I had to do a little bit of maneuvering to try to get into a position where I could approach this person. And I walked up to them. It was a girl that was walking with, it must have been a friend or a cousin or somebody that was a little bit younger than her, but couldn't have been her daughter. But an acquaintance, whatever, whoever she was, who knows. But, I walked up and I piped up and I tried to say, hey, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. And the lady just did not even acknowledge my presence. I mean, she more or less just, she kind of turned her back to me, and she kept on walking, and she pretended like she didn't hear me. I'm pretty certain that she did hear me, because her friend reacted to my presence, and her friend noticed that I was there and I was trying to open up a conversation, and her friend even went so far as to tap her other friend on the shoulder and be like, hey, this guy's trying to talk to you. Like, do you notice this kind of thing? And the woman just kept on walking. So like I'm always telling you guys, like just go up and try to feel people's energy out. This is a very clear-cut example of apparent energy of a person that did not want to talk, did not want to be approached, did not want anything to do with that moment. And that's totally fine. You're going to get that at some points in time. But to bring it back to the topic of the conversation and just to illustrate my point here, that was embarrassing for me. There was like a ring of people all around us that certainly heard me and looked over themselves when I said, excuse me. And they saw the whole thing go down, and it was just awkward. And, people could tell exactly what happened, that I was trying to talk to this woman and she was having no part of it. And yeah, that sucks. But once again, like, think about what I'm telling you. Like, right in that moment, it was, it didn't feel great. And I knew it was like a little bit embarrassing, but I just said, no, hey, it is what it is. And I walked in the complete other direction. And I was thinking to myself, when I was 20 to 30 feet down from that place in time, like all these new people in that batch of folks that were inhabiting this farmer's market this day just had no idea what just happened. And that's the essence of the whole thing, is just try to remember this stuff. Do not let that be a deterrent, because those moments are going to happen, but they're going to come and pass, and it doesn't mean anything. And at the end of the day, who cares if a bunch of old folks, which is what it was that I was surrounded with, at this point in time, who gives a crap like what they think of that moment and whatever the hell they think about you for the rest of their day, which, as I said, is not nearly as much as you imagine it to be in your mind. So you've really just got to keep trying to tell yourself this when, you're trying to get over that hump of anxiety of even just learning to do this stuff in the first place. And just, like I said, don't let this hold you back. It's not worth it. The rewards are far greater than the quote unquote risks, which they might appear in your mind to be. But think about this, guys. What's the risk in that? There's no risk. A little embarrassment, like, toughen up. You can handle it. Okay. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there. I'll talk to you soon.